My hair's starting to look like fucking Quicksilver because most of the blue is washed out. I still kind of dig it. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Lucas here, and welcome to my channel, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. I woke up this morning realizing the magnitude of what I've taken part in and what I've committed to, and that gave me a sense of anxiety, but in a good way, because I have never committed in such a way to a video schedule before. And so, for those of you who haven't seen the first video, please do. I'm making a video a day, every day from now until my birthday, which is September 10th. And so, daily videos, please go watch my previous video for information on that. But yeah, I was kind of inspired. I was going to talk about a different topic today, but since I encountered so much resistance in just turning on this camera, setting up the light and everything, and making this video, I figured, what the hell, let's just talk about resistance today. Now, if you're going to be talking about resistance is basically, from what I've gathered from self-help videos that I've seen and what have you, resistance is just sort of that pulling force against doing something productive. So when you feel like you have to study for a test, let's say, and you know you should be studying for the test, there's something that's pulling you back and telling you not to study for a test. And that is resistance. Same thing happens when you're trying to do work or when you're trying to make creative things. There's always some sort of resistance in getting started. And I find that fascinating. I think that biologically speaking, evolutionarily speaking, it makes sense for us to have resistance towards novel things, deliberate practice, and learning new things, because when we were hunter-gatherers, it wasn't really necessary to constantly seek out novel things. I mean, we were nomadic, but like going too far out of your comfort zone would probably mean you'd die. Something would eat you, or you would starve, or something like that. So if your base needs are being met, it makes biological sense to me that there would be resistance when it comes to choosing things to do and choosing things to work on, because it's like, oh well, I'm eating, I'm intaking fluids, and I'm still living. So I think that primitive part of our brains is still there, and it's something that we have to fight. But the tricky thing is, a lot of times the different layers of our brains kind of fuck with each other, because the logical highest order portion of our brain is the one that's able to like plan for us, and it's able to make involved decisions for not just short-term gains, but for long-term gains. Whereas you can think of like short-term gains and being like, oh, well, this isn't going to get me anywhere. The more primitive part of your brain is trying to be like, well, you've got all your needs set. You don't need to do anything. You know, just chill, just relax. And while I agree that you need to have a zen with it, the resistance is important. If you've ever taken a cold shower before, you know exactly what resistance is. Unless you're one of those weirdos who likes cold showers, in which case, I envy you. Short intermission. Today's flavor of Monster is watermelon. I believe this one was originally called Assault, but that's a bit of a problematic name for an energy drink, so it's now just watermelon. But it is what it is. Let's see if this tastes as good as I remember. Even better. But anyway, like I was saying, if you get into a cold shower, you initially have that flinch, that resistance, that desire to be like, no, you know, warm showers work fine for you. Why don't you just do a warm shower? And then you get into it, and then you hit that initial cold water, and it just consumes your senses, and you're like, ugh. That is what resistance is, and that pervades into all aspects of life. So it may have worked as hunter-gatherers, but in terms of our current society and us just as a species wanting to better ourselves, each one of us each day, learning something new, you know, talking to people, going out, socializing, getting into a relationship, a lot of this if not all of it, requires long-term planning. So you have to gain a sort of weapon against resistance. And that weapon is just simply getting started. Like right now, I just turned this recording on. I had a ton of resistance, but now that I'm currently doing it, I find it a lot easier and I find the words just flowing. So just getting started gets over that resistance incredibly. And I found this also to be the case when I was studying, when I was doing a Pomodoro technique. The fact that I was going to start a Pomodoro was stressing me out. I was going to start a Pomodoro, but when I did it, and when the timer was going, I still had a bit of stress because I was learning new material and I was just going through the paces, but it was a lot less painful than that initial resistance would have me believe. So resistance is an insidious villain. You got to be careful with resistance. That doesn't mean always, push through and be unhealthy, but that means that you can't trust your initial comfort when it comes to getting things you want. Your short-term comfort can oftentimes come at the expense of your long-term goals. So I encourage all of you to start something new. And if you're doing something that you haven't done in a while and you kind of just want to get better at it, then give yourself a timer, do a Pomodoro or something, and get over that initial resistance. Because especially when the work is hard, that's when it's the most meaningful. And that's when you often get the most growth. When I'm playing the ukulele, I don't get the most growth by playing the same song I've been playing all the time. I get the most growth from learning new chords and learning to place my fingers in the correct position going from a new chord to another new chord. That's when I learn the best, and that's when it feels the most uncomfortable. So I guess the thesis of this video is to just chase discomfort, see how it is, and allow yourself to be uncomfortable, allow yourself to be bored, allow yourself to be struggling, because that's how we grow. I mean, the tree has resistance in the wilderness, but it still grows. Those redwoods are magnificent, but they encounter resistance every single day. But the resistance does nothing but make them stronger. So anyway, that's it for my video today. I hope you guys look forward to the video tomorrow. I hope you guys are doing well, having a fantastic day. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video. And yeah, without further ado, this is Lucas, and I will catch you later.